Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, I should probably close my door. That's okay. Good morning, indeed.
How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm tired, Zach. I am so tired. My sleep has been so bad lately. Like not even in a good way, but in a bad way. Yep, you can tell. My sentences are not very strong.
It's all right. I mean, yeah, I've been kind of messed up on my
I'm
sleep
gonna
schedule
close my
too.
door, but go on.
Okay. My sleep schedule's been kind of messed up too because I have not been sleeping a ton lately, and it just has been a little bit less than ideal when it comes to like trying to be productive with my time, and then also trying to like put some type of significance on me getting sleep and like being able to relax and all of that kind of stuff. So
It's not sleeping a ton as in you're just staying up late and then having to get up in the morning because you work in the morning.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Well,
And
then that means it's time to sleep early, Zach.
I know.
It's that time. Or you can do what I do, which is it's frowned upon, but this is what I did to wake up in the morning and still stay up late because I wanted to stay up late to play with video games with the friends, right? So
Right.
what I did was I would wake up in the morning as I was at have to, like back when I had to open or something for work. And then I would just do my thing, get home, sleep, pass out at like 7, 8 o'clock p.m. at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would wake up. Maybe this would be like a power nap-ish. Maybe like, oh, not power nap. Power nap's like 20 minutes. This would be like, if you can do 20 minutes, that'd be, no, don't do 20 minutes. This needs to be like a solid 2 to 3 hour nap. Okay, maybe not 3 hours. 1 to 2 hour nap, right?
Right.
So now you have an hour or 2 hour max, maybe even 3 if that suits your fancy, depending on how work went for you. And now let's say you have 2 to 3 hours on your belt. Let's say 2 hours. That means that you can sleep or you can stay awake 2 hours more. So if you have to wake up, like what time do you have to wake up?
Like 7-ish.
7-ish. So let's just say 7. 2 hours before that, or that means to get 7 hours of sleep, you have to go to bed at 12. Well, now you have 2 hours under your belt. You can go to bed at 2.
True. Yeah, I mean
that was my strat. It's still my strat. Sometimes it depends if I have to wake up. But
For
since
sure.
I have to wake up in I have to start waking up later until I start my job. I've been fighting the fact of whether I should be switching my sleep schedule back or not, as you could tell, because I was awake in the morning. This morning I was up at 8. And then I just went back to sleep after I ate breakfast. No, actually, that's a lie. Well, that's what I would do if I was gonna stay up. I would wake up at like 7 or 8 a.m. or something crazy, maybe like 6 or 7 a.m. Eat breakfast, go back upstairs, pass back out again until lunchtime. I would do that sometimes too if my schedule worked for it.
I mean, if it works, it works.
But today it was bad because I had a big stomach ache. So it was really bad. I just ate a lot of food last night, didn't really get it out. So I woke up with a big tummy bellyache and couldn't get out of bed, and that's kind of why I slept in. And I did sleep in, and I slept in for today's episode. So bring us in, Zach.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Uneducation Station podcast. Of course, my name is Zach, and I'm here with my buddy Arthur.
Hey.
And we are the Backyardigans. Welcome to another Discord random shenanigans where the set changes every time. And it's great. It's a fun time.
We're having fun with our cam links and a tripod.
Yeah, basically. That's kind of been the MO lately. And I've loved it. I really have.
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
It definitely has sparked my creativity a lot. And so
That's good.
I'm really glad that we've been doing this for as long as we have, because I know that initially it was like a one episode, like one off. Or at least that was the plan.
Yeah, the plan was just because I had some family sick, so we're like, okay, let's just do a Discord episode for this week, and then that was fine, that was great, and then we're like, well, kind of same deal, let's just do another one, and then we just kept doing it because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to spice it up, so that's why we're still doing it.
I mean, and I think the coolest part of it, for me at least, is that I get to kind of show off like the the giant light that I just have laying around in my
Oh,
house
right, right.
and like the weird random things that I have going on. And it's nice to be able to like be talking about something and then be like, "Oh yeah." And then just grab it. Like,
Oh, yeah, like grab one of your things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like for example, old vintage camera that I have that
Oh,
my
there you
dad
go.
gave me. Um
Which is
but
different
like
from the one that's here. Wait, no. Yeah, the one that's up there that nobody can see, but was in the set before.
the pocketbook or the Canon?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
Mm-hmm,
Um
mm-hmm.
now I have that camera tattooed on me.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got a big boy tattoo. You were mentioning that last week, and you finally got you got the sleeve done, right?
So I thought that I was going to be able to get the sleeve done, but just based on how large my like how long my arms are, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't finish it. But
Oh no.
I've made a pretty significant dent. Here, I'll move my mic.
Oh, there you go. It looks still pretty good.
Yeah, and it's really really fresh. So,
Mm-hmm.
um you could probably see the little peelies, but
Maybe,
um
maybe.
yeah, but I'm excited, man. And that was like a giant chunk of it that I wanted to get done. So, and it's not
Right.
even finished yet. Like
No.
I still need to get it shaded. So,
Oh yeah, there's still much more to be done, but it looks cool right now still, so that's pretty sweet.
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I
I don't really ink my body personally. I would never touch the body that God gave me. But, you know, if I did, it would be much less confident inducing than what you have. But what you do have is really cool. I
yeah.
won't discredit that. Cuz I still think tattoos are cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I
and
would just never touch the body that God gave me, Zach.
that's fair. Your body is a temple. And some people think that getting tattoos is like putting graffiti on the temple of your body. Um,
How dare they? How dare they, Zach?
how dare they? Um,
Can I ask you something, Zach?
what's up?
You're a devoted Christian man, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you see those TikToks every now and then where it's like Bible verses, and then you know what I mean? Like there's just a
Mm-hmm.
Bible verse,
Yeah.
and then it's either nobody talking, someone talking, or a computer talking, and then it's either reciting the Bible verse, or it's just saying something motivational while the Bible verse is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually the background is like a waterfall or some side of beach or something
Yeah.
like that. Do you now let me ask you, as a devoted Christian man, is that like your jam, or what's the vibe with that? It
um.
can be your jam, Zach. I'm just
Okay.
curious because it doesn't resonate with me specifically as a devoted Buddhist. Now, if we're going to talk about the 9 learnings, Zach, this would
Mm-hmm.
be a different story.
Right.
I would be, oh yes, yes sir. You know.
So I think it's it's an interesting kind of weird middle ground that I find myself in because I think it's cool that that stuff is out there and so accessible to so many people. Like you could
Mm-hmm.
just be kind of scrolling on TikTok and be like, "Oh, cool, that's a Bible verse." Like, "Oh yeah, whatever." But also it is slightly cringe. Um, I mean, the content of it isn't cringy. It's just the way that it's presented is kind of weird. It's like trying to be super hype and like
Mm-hmm.
all of that kind of stuff, like be
I
woke.
wouldn't. I wouldn't say it's yeah. Okay, more be woke is a better thing. I wouldn't say it's super hype. I wouldn't say I
Yeah.
necessarily get like whoa when I see it going on. You know, but I mean maybe someone wakes up in the morning, right, Zach?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're a child of this age, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they go on their phone after they wake up, as one does in this age, as a child within this era.
Right.
And then while they're scrolling, they see a verse, and it's Zach. It happens to be their favorite verse, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they listen to it and they close their eyes and they submit to Jesus, and then they get out of bed and they start their day rejuvenated.
I mean,
I am God's son, and I am ready to take on God's world that he gave me. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. No, I totally.
I hope you don't think I'm being sarcastic, because this is what I'm imagining.
I mean, it definitely has changed a lot, like the way that like the Bible and Christianity has been presented has changed a lot. And so it definitely is not out of the realm of possibility for that to be like someone's main source of ingesting that type of information is from like TikTok or
Okay.
from, there are a lot of like Bible apps and that kind of stuff, and like their quote or like their verse of the day or whatever it may be.
Right.
Like there are a lot of people out there that just don't even open the book, and they just kind of are getting bits and pieces of information from external sources, and
like their family members or from church.
oh
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Right. They're not reading the book. They're not reading the dictionary of life.
Right, exactly.
I mean, to be fair, it's a big book.
It's very big, and like it has like it reminds me, the pages are so thin that it feels like a dictionary. I feel like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the pages
I do.
are
Yeah, like
so
the ones
thin.
that would come in like in the libraries, or also, just the libraries, and you would. I mean, if they're not thin enough, Zach, there's a lot of words in the world, Zach.
There's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words that I can be utilizing.
Right.
Of which
I don't.
Mayhaps.
Mayhaps. That's a. Is that even? I don't know. Anyways,
it's a word. I use it quite frequently.
Mayhaps. That sounds like just a combination of maybe and perhaps.
It is.
Oh.
And that's why I would use it. But yes, those pages do be thin. I've never actually looked in a Bible before. Not that I was refusing myself to the Lord, but I just haven't really,
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. The phrasing was just kind of.
Is that a problem that I haven't?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. You could do whatever you want.
I'm just pushing your buttons, Zach.
Yeah, I know. Trying to get me
fair. No, it's fair. I just
trying to get me to talk about things that I'm not knowledgeable enough to feel like I can
it's
sit
fair
here
to
and
have
talk
an
about
opinion about these things. I have an opinion about Buddhist teachings, but I don't really know much about the Buddhist teachings. I said the 9 learnings. I'm pretty sure it's called the 7 teachings. So I don't know how many there. I don't even remember how many there are. I think it's 7. It might be 9. It might be 3. I don't know. I was literally talking to my grandpa about it like 2 days ago, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah. I mean, religion and like religious beliefs is one of those really hard things to talk about, and go about it in a way that is respectful to all parties involved, I guess. So like in this example, you believe in Buddhist teachings, and you are a part of that community, and I'm a part of the Christianity group of people and like that part of that church, part of that environment and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it it's interesting because neither of us have an unbiased opinion. And so
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
and that could be in a very minor way, you know, like the ideas that I have and the opinions that I have of Christianity are going to be different from somebody who is not a part of that, you know.
Yeah, that would make sense. Since I don't know anything about it, I just know that y'all fuck it up on Sundays and have a time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
idea.
Y'all fucking up on Sundays and Easter.
Oh yeah, yeah, y'all go crazy.
Yeah, dude, we're just having a grand old time.
It's about the same, except instead of okay, my image of church is probably skewed by the media, but I would assume it's kind of the same idea where there's the service, and then you guys break into song. Maybe break into song wasn't quite the right words to say,
Yeah.
but not a musical number, but you guys, sing like
It's a
those like
choreographed
gospel
song and
songs.
dance, Arthur.
Oh,
Um
my fault. So I was right. Okay, okay.
no, 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 no. I'm just giving you shit.
Oh, that's
Uh
even more lame. Come on now. You should have just said yes. At least in my church, we go High School Musical.
yeah, no.
So,
Not.
but you do like sing like church songs and stuff
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I know you, at least Jackson does. I'm sure you do every now and then as well. Have the church band and play and such.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. So Buddhist temples is pretty much the same thing, except instead of music, it's a gong, and instead of singing, we're chanting,
Hmm.
and instead of benches, we're sitting on our knees.
Interesting. Okay.
That's about it. Well, there's more, but that's the main thing. And then there's the takpat, which basically just means we give donations in exchange for a wish for wealth, money, family, happiness, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We donate stuff like money. Not a lot. Well, it depends how much you want to donate, but money, food, stuff like that, of which then the monk that are there get to eat. So that's cool. And then if it's too much, we put it in a basket and then we let the kids have it.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, the problem is when we're down there, we're all speaking Laos. As far as like the chanting goes, now I am okay with Laos, at least understanding it, not necessarily speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
But Zach, the Lao they speak there is really hardcore. Like I don't know how else to really explain it other than I know Laos probably a little bit better than some of my cousins, and I'm like, I have no clue what they're saying. Even my parents don't know what they're saying sometimes. We're just chanting the same words and assuming.
You're like, I really hope I'm not saying
No.
something offensive.
No, it's okay. We're not. I don't know. we're just chanting the same words, and it may as well just be just saying random words that Twitch chat is giving us, and we're just hoping that it's not offensive in a different language. I guess.
Right. That's funny.
Imagine, like listening to Limerick English,
Ooh.
and you trying to understand what they're saying. Is that the right word? Limerick English. Limerick is like the poetry type thing, right? Hear thee. It's a poetry thing. It's like some maybe
Or
not even
like Shakespearean English.
yeah, like that,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
Imagine
okay.
someone.
Mhm.
Imagine just trying to instead of uh like what you say now, you're in the church and they start busting out Shakespeare, and like hardcore Shakespeare. Like
So there are
you have no clue what they're saying Shakespeare.
yeah.
That's what's going down in the temple.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there are certain different denominations of Christianity that use older versions of the Bible that have like older English in it.
Okay.
And I think the most common case is with Catholicism because they've been using the same version of the Bible for God knows how long. And
Oh, God does know how long, Zach.
puns. Anyways, uh,
Thank you,
so
Zach. I appreciate that.
so they use an older version of the King James, it's called the King James version of the Bible, and
Mm.
it uses older English.
I
It
think I know them from
uses
Fate.
hmm?
Sorry, go on.
um it uses older English, and it is really hard to understand 100% of what they're saying in that
Mm-hmm.
version of the Bible. And like the newer versions have used more and more kind of modern English and modern English phrasing, because
Mm-hmm.
the phrasing of things in the King James version are just really really dense and hard to understand, especially
Mm.
for a smooth brain like me that doesn't have like a
Well,
PhD.
I wouldn't say smooth brain. I would just say you speak English like a normal person within this current society.
That's fair, actually,
You
now that I think about
know?
it.
You understand current English. That's I wouldn't say it's smooth. I'd say it's pretty average brain. But
Average brain.
you would need quite the complex brain nervous system.
Yeah.
Quite the complex ridges in those um, tendrils in order to understand those things. Of which case, good for them. But I promise you, they're probably not speaking like that out of church. So you know.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Like, I,
Well, you never know.
well, I was raised in the Catholic Church, homie. I went
Mm-hmm.
to a Catholic school. And I love how I make it sound like that was a flex. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know my shit. I I was born in the darkness, molded by it.
Oh,
Um,
but brought back by the light, Zach. Now come on.
that was good. I'll give you that one.
I love my church jokes. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the wholesome ones are great because it's just like, that was good. I'll give you
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
I would never speak wrong against the name of the Lord, Zach,
Um,
nor his house.
I. It sounds like you're being a little bit condescending.
What? Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I wouldn't do that to a marginalized group of people.
I don't know. It just sounded like the phrasing of that was slightly
Okay.
con.
So I needed maybe a little bit more oomph, more confidence in that sentence, maybe
Well,
to
I
convince you.
no, I think it doesn't have to do with the way that you're saying it. It's just like you're kind of like, never mind. Fuck it. It's fine. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Catholic Church is really interesting when it comes to the way that they go about like talking about the Bible and like
Hmm.
the story that takes place, or the many stories that take place.
Hmm.
Um and in Catholic churches, or at least the ones that I've been to, they don't do a lot of explaining on what's going on. They just read stuff, sing some hymns, and then they're like, "Cool, okay, bye," and then they
Ah,
leave. So it
I
it
like that. That's nice.
it it's nice, but also at the same time, it's hard when you don't have a context where you're like, "Oh yeah,
Mm,
I don't really know what's going on," and they're using really complicated English like that isn't very common.
mm,
And so it can be really hard to understand what's going on, and I think that that's what really turned me away from um at least Catholicism, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like there are people who don't understand the stuff that I do, and they're, or like the churches that I've gone to, or that I go to, they're like, that seems silly. Like my mom is like super into the Catholic Church and everything like that. And there's nothing
mm-hmm.
wrong with that. And she's like, I don't like the way that your church goes, why are there so many noises happening all at once at my house?
Is that from you?
So there's someone working outside, like right outside my window. My garage door just opened.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, but okay, well, I don't think because we have denoise they will hear it, but I heard this as well. But it sounded the rumble was so. See, now nobody's gonna hear this, Zach, because we both denoise it, and I also crank it down in post because we're sitting this in post these days, and I heard it, and I was like, but the rumble was so significant and such a low frequency, I thought it was in my house.
Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You can't see my screen whenever you're talking because of the way we have it, or you can't see me when we're talking, but I was like, is that my garage?
And it's really funny because
It
both
was
of
like
our
a hum, right?
yeah.
Okay, so that was you.
Uh-huh.
What the frick? Wow.
So, for context for the people who don't know this, so I live right above my garage. Like that's where my office is in my room.
Same.
Yeah. So when you hear garage noises, and like especially when we're in calls together, because it's become so synonymous with both of us, where whenever we're trying to record or whenever we're in a Discord call, the garage doors will just open on either end.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun to be like, what whose garage was that? Or like
Who is leaving the house right now? Is it my dad? Is it your dad?
yeah, it's so funny. Yeah,
Well,
the
it
struggle
makes such a loud noise, and
for
not even
no
that.
reason.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of vibrations happening, but I feel like the house should be able to take that a little bit better than it does, you know.
Yeah. I
But it
mean,
doesn't. At least my house. At least my room right here.
yeah. I mean, my house was built in the 90s, I think. Either the late 80s or early 90s.
I
So,
think my house was probably built in the 2000s, I want to say, but at least late 90s as well, because my parents moved in, I think, in 2001. So whether or not it was it was just newly made, or is an older house that was on lease, but all sold or whatever, right? I don't know.
mm, yeah,
But I think I'd like to probably think it's a newer house, probably compared to yours, because I would
yeah.
agree that your house is a little bit older than mine for sure.
I mean, and a lot of it has like the way that you can tell is by the layout, and like, there's bricks at the front of my house. Like,
Oh yeah, classic bricks. Can't go
yeah,
wrong.
can't go wrong.
Well, yeah, no, you can't go wrong. Just a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of bricks. But yeah, you could tell that this is an older house, and like um, they call my room the frog, the front room over a garage.
It's pretty good. I like that. I guess
Frog,
mine is also a frog, if you think about it. Yeah,
just us and our frogs.
us frogs.
Yes. I was gonna try to say something funny, but I lost it.
You lack the ability to be funny. It's all good. I'll do it for you. We've been frogged.
Have we been frogged?
I think so. What is that thing that you and Jackson send each other?
Oh my god.
Is it the frog? Or is
Yeah,
it
it was
like
the
a
frog.
It is a frog. Okay, gotcha.
So we had to stop this.
You did? Oh
We
man, You don't need to tell me that. I was living under the assumption that you'd still frog each other to this day.
Dude, we stopped this probably like 2 or 3 months ago, but it was going for almost a year.
Oh man.
And it was every day back and forth. We would just sit there, and that's how I knew that Jackson was awake. Like he would start his day by sending me a meme that says, "You have been frogged. Send this to someone else to be unfrogged." That's literally all it was. And so
Yeah.
there were entire like months where everything that was sent on Instagram between Jackson and I was just that same one. It wasn't a
Oh,
different
yeah.
one. It was the exact same post over and over again. And then I sent it to Arthur, and he got really upset, and he was like, "Fuck that! I'm not going to be a
Well,
part of
I
this
wouldn't say I
anymore."
got upset. I was like, I just don't want to participate in this game of which you two have been so, uh, devoted into. That's not my turf. That's not my territory. I was just a
Yeah,
guy on the street, kind of fascinated by what was going down on the block.
yeah,
But then, you were like, well, how about you have a drink? And I said, well, uh, you know,
yeah. I mean, yeah. It. I don't understand it at all. Like when people, because I've mentioned this to a lot of my friends and coworkers and stuff, and they're like, I don't get it. Like, why do you guys just send a picture of a frog back and forth? And I'm like, I don't get it either. I have no idea. Oh my
well, you
gosh.
just kind of do it. We
Yeah.
have in my Twitter chat, ooh chat, which may or may not be synonymous at this point. We have trains that we do every now and then, like a message train, right? Like you would
Mhm.
say one thing and then everybody else would say the other things. Now, typically this would be ooh, right? Because
Ooh, chat.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. What do you do in ooh chat? You chat ooh,
Fair.
and one thing that we also would do is send picture trains. Like I have one. There's this anime called Gochiusa, which was one of my favorite animes in my earlier days of animes. Kind of one of my first slice of life animes. It made me really into the whole. Yeah, we don't have a plot line. We just kind of do whatever, and then I learned that this genre is one of the strongest genres in the anime sphere. And then one of the memes, right,
Mm. Mhm.
is there's two girls that are learning English, and they're learning how to say green tea and coffee. And then one girl goes, green tea. And then the other one goes, coffee. And then they repeat it over and over again. Green tea, coffee. And that's it. So every now and then, I'll do it right now. Where I just have the picture. And then I just send it, and then we just send it back and forth. Now, this is an old school UChat meme. Here's one of the problems with new UChat meme, or with a new UChat, is that we have a lot of newer people, and they don't get the old people memes, Zach. They don't get the old veteran UChat memes, and it makes me sad.
I mean, I don't know the ooh
I know
chat
you don't, because
memes.
technically you weren't part of that old OG UChat. You're not really. I mean, you're in the
Yeah.
Discord, and that's fun. But the Twitter one that we have is like the thing. I have a fun story about it, but the basic generality of it is that when I was in high school, I had no friends.
Oh, you had friends.
I know, but I was convinced of myself as a high schooler that I didn't have any friends. That's how that works in high school, right?
Mm. Right.
So what I did was, as I was in high school, I started making, the sorry, I'm trying to do this while I'm, oh gosh, where is it? Okay, we're gonna do this now really quick. So I have it in an album. It's called Coffee, and then I'm just gonna send this picture that says coffee. Let's see if I can show it. Oh, it's too dark. I turned my exposure down specifically. There we go. See that? Just this coffee. And then the other one, let me see if I can get the other one out in a timely manner. Sorry, audio listeners, you may be confused, but perhaps Zach can explain it to you pretty well.
Yeah, they're just learning English.
They're
Literally,
learning English, and then one says coffee, and the other one says green tea. And then they repeat it over and over again. So let me go ahead and send one, and then we'll see if anybody sends it back. Or the other one back, right? And that was one of like, we can be in conversation, Zach, and someone would just drop it, and then the conversation would stop, and then we would train for like 24 hours until we're done.
I love that shit. That is so funny.
Like, we would have to do it sparingly because obviously that's a little rude, but it's really funny because we would just be talking, just having a conversation amongst like 2 or 3 of us about whatever, anime, life, school. And someone would drop the coffee. Like, well, green tea, coffee, green tea, and that would just go on for at least a day.
That's hilarious. I mean,
But
that's
yeah,
what
the Uwu chat, yeah. That's what the frog is, right?
the frog meme. Yeah. And
Right.
so we dropped it for a while, right?
Right.
And you
Very
know,
tragic to hear, by the way.
I know.
As a frog, as a Zach and Jack frog lore connoisseur.
Yeah, it's very tragic. There was a very brief stint of time where we started it back again, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll stay frogged. I don't care." And
I'll do it.
fine, because both of us are too damn stubborn, and we're like, "I don't want to be the last person to be frogged. That's bullshit." And then it just continued, and it devolved into madness. And so,
But what if you like frogged someone else and then blocked them? You know,
that's like, oh, malicious intent. That's that.
no, I mean, yeah, I guess actually that is a bit of foul play. I would agree.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but then he could just send it to me again, and then would I just have to go and block a bunch of people after
no,
sending them the frog meme?
he would be blocked, so he can't send it to you.
Oh, block Jackson. Got it. Okay.
Well, I
But
was just saying, just send it to a random person, just on Instagram, like Zach WNP, right? And
yeah.
then be that, and then he says what, and then you block him.
So the reason why I'm telling you this is
Okay.
because there was another frog meme that I found on Instagram.
There's another one.
There was another one, and it was basically the same thing. Like, oh yeah, frog your friend. If someone, blah, blah, blah. If someone sent you this, you have been frogged. Send this to someone else to be unfrogged. I found another one that was a different picture of a different frog
Oh.
with the same text, and I sent it to Jackson, and he was like, "No, we are not doing this.
No.
I can't let this happen anymore." It's
My good content.
I know, so funny. But
Very
yeah,
very tragic to hear. But
it
I
is very
understand. I
tragic.
understand. I get it, you know,
Yeah.
because I personally also didn't want to partake in the frogging because I didn't want to get frogged myself. So that's fair. It's fair. You know, sometimes maybe the frogging has to stop. You know, I actually have childhood trauma with frogs.
Seriously?
Yeah. So outside my window, my room has been the same room since maybe, oh gosh, I was like, whenever I moved out of the room, because my brother and I used to share a room because we didn't have enough rooms. But then because of my cousin, also lived in our house along with her aunt, and then they moved out, so then I moved into their room so we can have our own rooms. And it didn't really matter because it was on the same side of the house. On the other side of the street, there is a frog pond.
Yes.
And Zach, when it is nighttime, they do be ribbiting.
That's such a funny word. Ribbiting. Wibbiting.
It's loud, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
The ribbiting.
Right.
And because of that, sometimes I lose sleep, Zach, as a young child trying to figure out his way in the world,
Mm-hmm.
only to be dastardized by croaking
And ribbiting.
and ribbiting. Not a good time, Zach. Now, the ribbiting has stopped, Zach. Why? I don't know. Maybe they died. Or they got eaten, or they got relocated, or pond dried or something like that. But the
Not the
ribbiting has thus
frogs.
stopped. Not the frogs, I know, but it's all good. It was someone's frogs, so it wasn't like a poor maintained neighborhood frogs. It was somebody's frogs in somebody's frog pond. So what are you gonna do, right? Maybe they moved. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that neighbor. But
Maybe they took the frogs with them, and they were
maybe.
just like, all right, friends, new frog house, and then they just fucking leave.
To be fair, though, I don't know how that. Because the frog pond is like in their front lawn. Ooh, that was pretty good. And it's made out of just it's rocks and boulders and stuff, and it's
Hmm.
just on the corner.
Right,
So it's like that means somebody who moves into this house now has to don this pond.
right. The lawn pond.
Right, right. They have to don the lawn pond.
Yeah,
But what if they don't want that kind of responsibility?
pond responsibility.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I'm enjoying the slam poetry. I don't know if you can notice.
Yeah, it's makes me feel like I have brain rot.
I am a victim. Yeah, no, it's been good. No frogs, but you know what has been happening, Zach?
Hmm.
I don't know this for you because this may be a general thing since it is what it is. But the birds are chirping way earlier than normal.
I haven't even noticed that. I didn't.
You haven't noticed that?
I haven't heard the birds in a long time,
No,
Arthur.
you don't have a lot of birds in your area.
Mm-mm.
Probably not. No, despite you living in a forest,
I don't live in a forest
in a jungle.
in the middle of.
Zachary
Yeah.
lives in a swamp.
With a donkey.
Hmm. And I guess he doesn't get a lot of birds, but he does get a lot of alligators. I get a lot of birds. A lot of birds around here, Zach. And Zach, when it's 3 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that, Zach. I don't want to hear them speak. I'm sure they have a lot to say, Zach. And that's fine because we live in the free world, Zach, and you're allowed to say whatever you want. However, it's in 3 in the morning, Zach. What do they have to say, Zach?
I don't know.
So here's the thing. I know what they have to say because it's the same birds. You know how I know it's the same birds? Because they have the same tweets. And I'm not talking about Twitter, Zach. I'm talking about the bird sounds, the bird songs,
The bird tweets. The tweet
the bird
tweets.
tweets, the tweet tweets. That's where Elon Musk gets it. And they have the same ones. I know it. And because of that, I know it's the same fucking group of birds that are just, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're doing what I'm doing and they're trying to shift the sleep schedule a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm changing the sleep schedule to something drastically early, like maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 a.m., I'm not making noise. So why do they have to make the noise, Zach?
I mean, I think
When everybody else in the house is trying to is still sleeping until at least 6, 7 a.m.
I don't think birds put much thought into many things that they do. I
No?
think they're just birds and they
You
just
think they're just birds?
do bird things.
Are you a subscriber to the pigeon spies?
No.
No, not a big pigeon spy fan.
No. I think that's silly. It's very silly.
Yeah, you hear those things where it's like, oh, you've never seen a, what is it? You've never seen a, like, oh, I've heard some really funny ones. Like, you've never seen 2 pigeons before in one spot. And I'm like, yeah, I have, or something stupid like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, bro.
Or like you've never seen a dead pigeon before. I'm like, yeah, I have. I don't know. My cat brought me one time.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, I have 2 cats and they live outside and they love bringing me birds and things. But yeah, that it's just goofy, man. Like the whole pigeon spy meme or like all birds are robots. That
I'd like to
just
think it's real for a little bit of fantastical imagination,
yeah,
but at
but
the same time, but it is a big breach of privacy. So
that would require so much energy for literally nothing. Like,
well, it's the government, Zach.
right, but also at the same time, instead of them building birds that have cameras inside of their bodies and just having them fly around and shit, I mean, there are security cameras like everywhere,
It's true. It's true.
So
All of
like
those nice .5 megapixel security cameras.
they're getting better though. They
Have
are
you
getting better.
seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
I
And
can't
then
even see the man right now. It's these 2 pixels. I can't see him.
did you see this man last night? I can't even see him right now, bro. What the
I
hell?
mean, maybe it's foggy outside. I guess I kind of see him. He's all over the place.
Yeah. I just imagine.
I was watching a video at 144p, and then I was like, "It's the man!"
Yeah. I wonder if there's a resolution that's lower than 144p. 90.
1. We've seen memes, Zach. We've seen the super baked memes, Zach. You know the
Deep
memes
fried.
that not necessarily have been deep fried, but they're just so bad quality because I mean, it's a good meme because it's been passed around.
Right.
It's been saved, uploaded, screenshotted, saved again, uploaded, screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
It's been passed around. So those memes that have the bit rate of a toaster, it's gonna be a good meme.
Right. I would love if there was a way to find out the origin of those memes. Like, find where or like follow the footprint of all of the different places that the meme went.
Yeah, that would be fun, huh? I don't think you can do that. I mean, you could find the origin as if it's a really popular one, you'll find it on Know Your Meme.
Right.
Generally, I haven't been there in a while. Usually, I don't. There was definitely a point in time where I definitely loved to know the origin and was really deep into that kind of meme lore.
Right.
But I think I'll settle in meme culture instead of lore. Meme lore is a bit extreme these days.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's like,
being a meme historian can be really weird, and it can send you to very weird parts of the internet,
yeah, I mean, a lot of memes do stem from bad places. Not
Right.
all of them, but a handful amount of them. But it's because they're memes that you can kind of poke a little fun at dark things. So, I
Right.
never see a problem with that. Shedding light in a dark area, no
Mm-hmm.
problem with that.
Yeah,
That's why I do love my dark humor. Oh, I love my dark humor.
yeah. I mean, it's
I'm
funny.
not allowed to share it, though.
Yeah. It's funny because it's not supposed to be funny. I think that's what makes dark humor in particular so good. It's like, I really should not be laughing at this, but I am, and it's
Well, it's
kind of
just a backwards humor. It's like instead of laughing at what it is, you're laughing at like, God damn it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's that kind of laughter. It's like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
a flabbergasted type of humor where you're like, oh.
When you see the Live Leak logo, you're going to be very, very sad.
Oh yeah. I actually kind of stay away from the live leaks. I personally am not a peruser of the live leaks.
Live Leak is no more. They had to shut down the site.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine why.
Gee, I wonder why.
Is it all the decapitation videos I see on Facebook?
Bro, they're coming back.
Are they really?
So-
That's another reminder for me to not get Facebook.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
but you know what? Oh, no, go ahead and say your story, but there is something that's just resubscribed me to Facebook in a way that I never thought I would. But go on.
So for some reason, I will find myself doom scrolling on Facebook Shorts or whatever they call them, Reels, whatever. And I'll just find a video of just someone getting hit by a bus, and I'm like, why is this a thing? And then I'll I'll scroll down and find another video of like animal torture or something real messed up, and I'm like, what is happening to Facebook, bro? Who hurt you?
Now, is it posts that are, is it like troll posts, or is it like posts of someone sharing it to enlighten? Like, first of all, why would you do that? But assuming that maybe it's like a news outlet or something, or like a really fucked up one where it's like, hey, I'm gonna show my page, presumably,
Right,
and my page is generally like kind of dodgy kind of content, right?
right.
And it's like I gotta let the people know, look what just happened. Stay woke. But then it ends up in someone else's For You page.
So I think,
Or is it trolls?
I don't know. It's hard to say because it's written in a different language that I can't figure out.
Mm.
And it's somewhere like in a different country. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where all of these videos are coming from, but it's just so bizarre because it seems so like genuine. And you can or like on Facebook you can automatically translate the comments and stuff. And so some of the comments would be like, oh, thank you for sharing, and like all of that kind of stuff. And that just makes me really concerned about the well-being of people on the internet, because they're like, thank you for sharing this video of a person getting beheaded. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm like, no, this should not be on the Facebook where my grandparents used to be, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is
Internet's
crazy.
crazy, man.
The internet is very crazy. And you know what's even more crazier, Zach?
Hmm.
Have you heard of Threads?
Threads like on
Oh,
on
he hasn't. No. Judging by his reaction, he hasn't. Zach, a new Twitter has been made.
a new Twitter?
A new Twitter format social media platform that has destroyed the market. And it is by the one and only Zuck.
The Zuck?
The Zuck. You have this too, because it's based off of Instagram.
Huh.
It's called Threads, threads.net. I think if you it's on the store, it's probably called Threads. I think because there's other things called Threads. So you have to search like Threads, an app by Instagram. I don't know. It's very odd. But it's there. You link your Instagram to it, and that's all the sign up because it's just your Instagram. If you look at my Instagram, you may see a Threads like icon thing, and you could see it, and then you can't click to it because there's no desktop app, which is very lame. But yeah, Zuck made a Twitter, and it broke like millions and millions and millions and millions. I think it by the end of the first 24 hours, it broke 10 million downloads. And
Whoa.
oh, Zach, it's big. It's not some like random. Usually, okay, so you're not on Twitter, right?
No.
So usually, what happens is Elon Musk would make a really bad update, and then following this update, people will be like, "Oh, Twitter's dead. Twitter died. It's over. We're done.
Right.
We're gone. We don't know what to do. Twitter's dead. What do? We got to move." Someone finds a miscellaneous app that is also social media, and then they go on there. Hey, follow me on this since Twitter is dead. Ha ha. Skull emoji. Skull.
Yeah.
And then everybody else follows suit. Whether they follow them or not or make their own account, follow me on here. Twitter is dead. This is the new vibe. You know what it is? I'm going to get popular here in this miscellaneous app that pops up every month.
Right.
It's new every month. It's not even the same app. It's a different app every month. I'm not going to name them because that'd be disrespectful. But I don't know. Some kind of hive mind is like driving this idea to go to different apps whenever something goes wrong, which says a lot about insecurities and things, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But every single time, everybody falls back to Twitter because it's Twitter. And despite its wrongdoings and right doings, Twitter is its own thing and nothing really replaces it. There's no real competitor. Reddit's not a competitor. Reddit's its own thing. Instagram's not a competitor. Instagram's its own thing, right?
Right.
There hasn't really been a true competitor to Twitter because Twitter was Facebook's competitor, and Facebook turned into Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So Twitter has been its own idea and its own. Well, I mean, there's other ones, but you don't really see that because everybody else is their own thing. LinkedIn's its own LinkedIn thing, you know.
Yeah.
But then Elon did something dumb. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember what it was. Okay, it was. I can't remember what the reason was because I hadn't looked into it, but everybody thought it was everybody. Okay, it was a classic case of Twitter users not reading the fine print. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Not reading into it, just seeing, Twitter. As much as I love and use Twitter, not really a lot of smart people there. A lot of people that are just kind of assuming based off of the first couple, like, choice words that you see on an article title or something,
Right.
But I think something happened with the database of some sort because everybody was getting errors. And then Elon made a statement or a tweet. Isn't it funny calling a tweet as a statement now? He made a statement on his own app that, what was it? He didn't say what the reason was, but he said there was a temporary maintenance, and because of that, something along those lines, and because of that, all Twitter users are going to be limited to how many posts they see. I think those who are using it for free can only see 600 posts a day, and those who are paying for Twitter Blue can see 6,000 posts a day.
That's a lot of posts.
Is it though? Because when you're death scrolling, Zach, you go through a lot of posts. And
So
you don't even consume every single post. Sometimes you just scroll past it.
Yeah,
in a matter of microseconds.
That's where it gets really confusing. Anyways, continue.
Oh no, that's about it. And because of that, because of that, everyone's like, "What's going on with Twitter? Elon is dead." And then all the Elon haters, jump on and start making viral tweets about how Elon is a fraud and stuff like that. And then all the Elon fanboys jump onto them. And it's like this weird battle cycle between Elon and their Elon fans. When some of us just use Twitter regardless if Elon has it or not.
Right.
But then the most opportune moment, I think the moment that Zuck, the lizard himself, was waiting for, has finally arrived, Zach. And they drop
himself.
the man, the lizard man himself, Zach, Spider-Man 1 himself, or 2, no 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yep.
Threads drops, and then everybody is like, "Oh."
So what makes Threads so cool?
How dare you, Zach?
I know nothing about it.
Are you an Elon stan, Zach?
I know nothing about it.
Elon cocksucker, Zach? Are you sucking Elon's? Are you doing that, Zach?
No.
Is that you?
I don't even use Twitter.
On Elon? That's you, Zach. Now, how dare you?
What? I know nothing about Threads, about this social media platform that just kind of came out of the woodwork. You were explaining it to me.
I was explaining it to you. I'll finish explaining it. It is essentially Twitter. But basically, like it is you have a thought. You don't have to put an image. It's Instagram without images. It's because that's what Twitter is. It's tweeting in the moment or threading in the moment. God, I'm gonna shoot myself every time I say I'm gonna thread. God, this is the most cringiest thing I've ever heard. Now, to be fair, maybe there was a brief barrier of having to get over the fact that you're tweeting, but it kind of works. Threading is pretty. I don't know. It's a little bit. It's still past me.
I'm starting to feel too old for the memes or like for the new things that are going
because
on.
you're not because you're not in there. It doesn't quite make sense. But just know that it's, to me, and I think to other threaders, calling each other threaders and threading is still pretty cringe. And most people are still just gonna say post and tweet. Well, maybe not tweet, but post, right? And reposting instead of rethreading. But yes, with that concept, there's reposting, just like Twitter. There's tweeting, just like Twitter. There's videos and pictures, just like Twitter. It's Twitter.
Yeah.
and that's what they've done. And they made it in an opportune time where everybody was hating on Twitter. Well, they didn't make. They were probably in development for a long time, but this was the opportune time to drop it because everybody was hating Twitter at a very all-time high. Even though they do it every month, but this time it was really bad.
Right.
So, yeah, it's Twitter. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, maybe that sounds blasphemous to a hardcore threader, but everybody who's on Threads came from Twitter, not even Instagram. They came from Twitter. All those 10 million, 15 million or so downloads in the first 24 hours, they're all from Twitter.
Yeah,
because
they're
Twitter
like
died for a moment.
they're like, you guys, we need to jump ship. We need to save our followings because Twitter's about to die. And then what are we gonna do without all of this attention?
Yep. So everybody raced to Threads, and all you can see because okay. Here is a brief issue that I have with Threads. I've been kind of talking about how it's the biggest thing in the world right now. It's the only thing that matters in the world right now. There's absolutely nothing important in the world right now that
Of
isn't
course.
Threads. You know.
Of course.
However, I've been deceiving you, Zach, because I've actually been speaking with the perspective of those who really love Threads right now.
Right.
Because I actually don't.
Oh, plot twist.
Plot twist. Oh! No, here's the thing, Zach. I don't dislike Threads. Like, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I just I'm just not really using it. I use it for a bit just because it was new and it was fun. Like, I was posting and I was just fucking around and posting like every hour or so, just because it's new, right? It's fun. And even though it's new, like I can make a new Instagram and post like once or twice or whatever, and that's about it, right? But as far as Threads, I mean, it's the same formula as Twitter. So I'm used to this, right? I know how this goes, so I'm more comfortable. So I'm just fucking around. I'm on Threads and I'm threading. You know, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
And after and then I go to bed and I wake up and I haven't opened Threads since. And this was like, I don't know. I think Threads has been out since last weekend.
Huh.
Here's the problem, right? The classic honeymoon phase. You know this?
Oh yeah.
The idea of something new is out and it's the best thing in the world. It's so much better than the previous. It's the new love of your life. Starting your new life begins with her, with him.
Right.
And then you live in their house for a year.
And then you share a bathroom.
And it's no longer the same sparkly rose tinted eyes. It's the classic honeymoon phase. Everybody in this app was talking about how much better it was than Twitter, which is fair to say because it's a direct competitor. If you're gonna be a direct competitor, then you have to be prepared to be compared, right?
Right.
Wait, did I just say that right? You have to be prepared to be compared.
Right.
Right. That's a fair thing to do if you're gonna advertise yourself as a direct competitor. If you're not, then then you can argue that that's not fair. But this is quite literally you're on Twitter. It's so petty that when you make a thread, you can actually choose to tweet it directly to Twitter.
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious. I thought that was so funny.
That's so good.
But that also means that they're really subscribing to themselves to the idea of this is like Twitter is done for. You're here now. Right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I forgot where my point was with that. I would think I was just making a joke. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of, the honeymoon phase, right? Everybody's talking about how much better it is than Twitter. This and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm not a contrarian, Zach, and I'm not a hater. I think you may be able to justify that. I'm not necessarily a quote unquote guy who hates to hate.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as I have one guy on me, it's good. So instead, I was using Threads as my first impressions, I was trying to find the things I didn't like about it because honestly, it was a relatively good app. It's simple. The UI is simple. Like you make your thread or post or whatever, you retweet it or repost it if you want. You know,
Mm-hmm.
very basic concept and very simplistic. There's nothing to hate about it necessarily about the design. Like the design UI is great. I imagine no less from someone who whoever designs Instagram and stuff like that, whatever their team is, they're doing fine, right?
Right.
So I have no qualms with the UI or the interface or anything like that. My problem is the decision making as far as how you're going to experience the app. So let me explain. This is definitely a person to this is anecdotal, first of all. But I do have some issues with it that is factual. So I use Twitter and other apps, mainly Twitter, in a chronological order as far as my timeline goes. Meaning I don't like the For You page.
Which is fair.
Okay. Which is fair. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it being my only option. And in Threads, it's your only option. You only have a For You page. That's your timeline. You can't see your latest, who you follow. You can't see their threads in chronological order. In Instagram, it is defaulted as a For You page. You see relative Instagram posts, but you can choose to only see your followers. You can set that, right?
Right.
Right. I remember doing that, and then I was like, I don't really care that much. But I know you can do that. In Threads, you cannot. You can follow a bunch of people and then see a bunch of people that you don't follow. That's my biggest. See in Twitter, it's okay-ish because it is a little bit better at determining what you kind of like and dislike. There, as far as the For You page, they do have a latest tweets, which is what I prefer. But their For You page is usually actually who you do follow, just not in chronological order. There's a fly in here. Sorry. So if like you can follow two people, person A and person B, you'll see person A's tweet from like 12 hours ago, and then right under that you'll see person B tweet from like 2 minutes ago. So you're still seeing who you follow, just not in chronological order.
Right.
In Threads, no. All I do is see a bunch of influencers who are trying to like force thread themselves to be really popular, and you can tell they're trying to be popular. Like it's blatantly obvious, and there's a bunch of influencers I've never heard of, and influencers that I have heard of, which is very fascinating. You see, all your Vine stars that you love: Zach, King Batch, Lele Pons.
Oh my god.
All of them are back. They're on Thread. I mean, they never left. I'm not discrediting their content. I just haven't consumed them personally myself. But it's interesting to see, as a big fan of them back in Vine, I'm seeing them again in Threads. That's fun. Problem is, I don't follow them. But
I mean, even if you did, you wouldn't see much of their stuff.
Oh yeah, I bet you if I did follow them, they'd be like, okay, he followed them. All right, let's pump some more stuff into his timeline that isn't them to get him to discover more.
Right.
That's one big problem I have. It's fine. I have no qualms with the For You page, but for a new app, you can argue that having a For You page is good so you can discover more people. But what if you've discovered enough people?
Right.
You'd like to kind of dial it down a bit, right? You want to see the people that you've discovered. No, you don't. Also, I mean, I don't use Instagram, but actually, no. I do use Instagram every now and then because you and everybody else use Instagram. You send me posts and memes and stuff, and because of the posts and memes that you guys send me, that's what dictates my timeline now, because that's all I used Instagram for, right? So
Sorry.
mainly it's no, it's all good. It's all good. Usually it's these anime memes, and now all I get are like anime memes, which is fine because I don't use Instagram. I avoid anime memes because those are spoilers, so I try and avoid them. Or at least if they're not spoilers, they lead to spoilers. Because they're like, oh, this guy likes anime? Well, shit, give him the last episode of Demon Slayer.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy likes anime and manga? Well, give him the last chapter of Attack on Titan. He loves that.
Right.
That's the algorithm for anime, basically. So I avoid anime memes at all costs. But I'll watch it. I'll humor you. And then I'll get off. But as far as other apps, Instagram's the only one. But that's besides the point. Because of that, that's how aggressive the thing is. I like one anime meme post. All of my shit is anime memes.
Right.
I like one keyboard post. All of my shit is keyboard posts. And not only keyboard posts, keyboard anime posts.
Huh.
It's very aggressive. And
Interesting.
in threads, I didn't even like this post. I was just okay. I am an unfortunate semi NBA fan. It's definitely a joke sport, a joke franchise. Um, but I subscribe to it for now ish, kinda. I'll talk ball every now and then, but nothing too crazy because it's pretty silly and stupid these days. Not that I'm a stingy old school fan. Oh, the only good basketball was back with Kobe and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You know, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the only good basketball. That's not me necessarily, but these days I do agree with that.
Right.
That being said, that just paints the picture that I'm not really, I do follow NBA people and NBA accounts on my main Twitter, but I'm like, okay, do I really want to do this on Threads? And I made this post, Zach. Okay, this thread. Okay, I made this thread that I'm seeing all these basketball, these NBA accounts. Not just NBA accounts, just basketball accounts, sports accounts, like NBA themselves, Golden State Warrior, like the official accounts, stuff like that, or Barstool, those just sports related accounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing them pop up, and I'm like, oh, and I make this thread, and this is my mistake, but to be fair, I didn't realize how aggressive this was going to be. I said, please, I said, what did I say? I said something along the lines of, I don't know if I want to introduce NBA back into my life again. Something like that, right? Something
Yeah.
silly like that. Not, it's kind of harmful or harmless. Sorry, thread. Just like haha, NBA. I don't know if I want to do this again. La la la. But NBA. It's not that big of a deal because it's just an idea. It's not a hard drug or anything.
Right.
And then I've refreshed my timeline, and now everything is NBA.
No.
Everything.
Oh no.
And I'm like, yo, I made one post. What happened? I didn't even like their tweet, their posts. And now as I infinite scroll to different NBA accounts.
Interesting.
Specifically NBA, not sports, NBA. Because I said NBA. That's how I know. It's
Right.
like they know. It wasn't sports. It was NBA. It was ESPN, Games, Sports Center, Barstool, The Professor, which is fine. I actually like The Professor.
Right.
I don't know if you remember him. Spider-Man basketball, classic, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, what the fuck is going on? So that kind of scared me a little bit, just a teeny bit. I know, like that's how kind of algorithms work, but the aggressiveness was kind of scary. I'm not a tinfoil hat type of guy, but I don't have a problem with algorithms. We do play that on YouTube here, but
Right.
it was like, that was kind of iffy. Other things, there's some quality of life things that don't exist. Like there's no DMs or private messages. That's a big one.
Oh, weird.
That is, very weird. I'm sure they'll add it at some point because there's no reason for there not to be, especially since Instagram does have it. And I mean, they have Facebook Messenger too, so I'm sure creating some sort of messaging platform that may be based off of one of those two can just exist, but
Right.
that's besides the point. They don't have one right now. Other things, it's called Threads, but making threads, quote unquote, isn't really prioritize in the sense that, let's say you make a post and then you make a second post underneath it, right, to make a thread.
Mm-hmm.
That won't make it back to the top of your page. It'll exist where you last posted it. So if I posted something a day ago and I've been making posts afterwards and I've made 10 posts or so afterwards, right,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to add to that previous thread because I have more information, right?
Right.
If I do that, it doesn't go back to the top of my page, my account. So there's absolutely no reason for me to thread there anymore. So there's that. That's kind of gone. That may sound silly, but it's a thread that's pretty, sometimes you add things to threads if there's corrections or anything like that,
Right.
it's a thing you would do, but it's not. It's not back on the top of your page. I had a better list. I was just like listing them out. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things that just kind of don't quite work with threads, but it's also a new app. So I always, for any new app, new game, I give it the benefit of the doubt first, because features and bugs are things that can be added and fixed.
Right.
That's fine. It's decision making, like the decision making that they choose, as far as how the app works, like how they decide how the app is going to function. That's my issue. And that's what I experience in Threads. Man, that's why I don't really use it too much. But I'll be on there because it's fun. You can post 4K video at a time that I don't know ends yet. I just posted a full edit for fun.
That's awesome.
And it's just kind of there still. Now I might get taken down for copyright, but it's just there.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fun when we're in like the Wild West of like a different social media service or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where we have no idea what the future is going to hold for that. And it's fun to just kind of be along for the ride. And it's going to...
Give it a shot, Zach. I don't know. Because you have Instagram. You could just, give it... I'm not going to say, I don't know. I'm not going to dictate that. Maybe this is your jam. Maybe this is your Twitter. Of which case, hey, I'm down. Because I'm on Threads here and there,
For sure.
Oh, my battery. Okay, it's on you, Zach, now.
Oh, okay.
I forgot I wasn't plugged in. We're on you, Zach.
So, thank you, everybody, for watching today's episode. It's a little all over the place today, but that's totally fine. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We post videos every Wednesday. We have them up on Spotify, all of that fun stuff. We got some videos popping up that YouTube is recommending. I have no idea what they're going to be, but I hope you enjoy them. And links to my socials and Arthur's socials down below. I love your face. I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.